This class we are going to see what is comparison operators, or we can also call it what is booleans, right? So to start with, any operations that you do and which determine if that comparison, right, comparison between these two things are true or not true. In an easy way we can understand that is something called a boolean. We'll quickly take it as an example. um, let's take an example like 2 equal to 2. And when I say equal to, you remember that when we assign something to the variable, we provide equal. So definitely this equal and that equal cannot be same, right? So we actually use here two equal symbol, and this means it's comparing between first and the second one. So if you see here, it's returning me true, right? We can try some more. Let's say 3 is equal to 3. Right, so it's giving me error. See, I gave only one equal, it's giving me error. So let me add another one and then run it again. So true. Let me try here 8. 3 is equal to 8, right? So I'm trying 3 is equal to 8 and this is giving me false. So very quickly we can compare between numbers using this equal to. Not only numbers, let me try something else. So let's try a string, right? So let's say Manali is equal to Manali. It's true. Let me give this to lowercase. Let's see what happens, right? Because it's case sensitive or not, this comparison we can try. You can see, right? It's giving me false. You can say I have given same letters here, but actually it checks for the cases as well. So we have to give on the same case. Okay, so very easily you can see we can compare strings, we can compare a number, integers, right? We can do more things here while comparing. Let's say 5 is greater than 4, right? So this is 5 is greater than 4, that is true, right? So it will return me true. If I give here 5 is greater than 8, it will return false. If I say 5 is less than 8, it will return me true. So all this comparison we can do. Okay, let's try something else. So let's say location equal to, yeah, here I'm creating variable, guys. So Manali. Okay, location is equal to, sorry, location equal to Manali. So this is a variable. I'm storing Manali in this variable, and Manali is a string, right? So let's say you want to check whether letter A is there in Manali or not, right? So I can simply say A in location. It's saying true. Why? Because I have A right here. I have A. So I'm saying go to this particular string and find me if A is there or not. Okay, let's say if I say whether B is there, and we know B is not there in Manali, right? So it is giving me false. Okay, I can simply without giving without giving creating variable also I can do. So if I just put here Manali as a string, that will also it will work. Manali, right? So B in Manali, this is giving it false. If I go with M in Manali, it is saying true. Okay, so this is how we can compare, we can find things, or we can actually return anything in Boolean, whether it's a statement is true or not, we can return it. Let's say there is something called not in, like it's opposite to n, right? So M is not in Manali, yeah, it is false. M is there in Manali. Let's say B is not in Manali, so this statement is true, right? B is not there. So very easily we can compare, and all these different kinds of comparison operators, right? So I just given few examples here, right? Here, so these are a few examples which we have taken below. Okay, with that being said, right? Let's see. Okay, let's move to the if else. So if else is very important, guys. So we can directly jump into some code, and then we'll see what it is exactly. Okay, so to if else, right? So there is a syntax that we have to follow. Okay, so let's create some variables which we have already done, right? So to take the example, I'm just quickly creating one example, guys, and then we can discuss in detail. So let me create a number one, which is 15. Okay, number two is equal to 20. Okay, so now you understand what this is, right? So I'm creating two different variables, one with the name number one, another one is number two, and I'm assigning a value 15 and 20. Okay, so now I'm saying if number one is greater, is greater than number two, if it is greater than number two, print if number one is greater than number two, then print number one is higher, right? Okay, and if you see here, right, this is always going with the space, guys. See this, it's if you noticed, there is a particular this space is given, right, and I'm following the save space here. I'll tell you why we are doing this. Print sorry, number two is bigger, or let me call it higher, same thing, right? Higher. Okay, so Python actually work on indents, the space here, right? So by default, if you're using Jupyter like me, after you go to the next line after putting a if statement, right, it will directly take you to the four spaces. So if you see here, it's taking four spaces, right? So it follows this indent always. And if you not give this, right, this will give me error. So if I don't follow this, right, this will give me error. So we have to always follow the indent. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I assigned two numbers to particular variables, 1 and 2. Then I'm saying if number one is bigger or number one is greater than number two, then print number one is higher, else print number two is higher, right? So let's run this one. Okay, so now it's saying number two is higher. Why? Because this statement, so just consider this, right? We did this here, right? We compare two different numbers. Same thing we are doing here. So it's comparing 15 is greater than 20. Number one is 15 here, right? And number two is 20. So it's comparing 15 is greater than 20, which is false, right? So here it will return false. So if it is false, it doesn't publish this one. It doesn't print this. It goes for the else statement, right? And if it is true, if it is true, then it will publish the first line itself. Let's do that, right? So let's add this one as a 25. So number one is now 25, right? So 25 greater than 20, yes, that is true, right? So number one is higher. Okay, let's so you're getting it, right? I think if if the statement is true, it will publish whatever is under if else is true, or if is not true, then it goes for else. Okay, um, so in simple way you can understand this is how you write else if or if else, right now. Okay, now take another example, and this type of example, guys, will help you to understand. If you're seeing this small program, right, try to write a program with yourself, taking something else, take number, take something else, right? Try to write it. Let's take another example, and here in this particular example, what we will do, we have learned something called input function in the previous class. We'll try to use that function here. Okay, so let's say brother age is a variable, and what we want here, input, same thing, right? I think this example we did, or similar to this we did, enter brother's age. Okay, so we know what is this input function, right? If you have not seen my previous video, I'll put a link so you can go and see that. Sister age is equal to input function. Okay, enter sister's age. Okay, let's give a space here. Okay, now you have both the age, right? Now write our if condition. If brother age is greater than sister's age, sorry, so you have to put colon here, then print. So brother, right? So brother is, so let's print brother is elder. Okay, else print sister is elder. Okay, so what we did, we created two variables, right? And we have used input function. So this value, right, we can take it while it's running. I'm not giving a fixed value here. We'll take it while we run this one. Okay, now let's run this one. So it's asking for enter the brother age. Let's say brother is 15 years old. Sister is, let's say 10 years old, right? So if you see here, it is satisfying the first condition. Brother age is actually greater than sister's age. 15 is greater than 10, right? So it's publishing the first statement. It's printing here brother is elder. Okay, let's run this again, and this time we'll give sister age greater, right? So let's say brother is 15 years old and sister is 20 years old. I think sister is older, right? Uh, let's add something more here, right? Let's add, so there is something called Elif. Okay, so there is something called Elif. So if you want to add multiple if conditions, so you can use Elif and add it. So let's put another condition called, uh, so what is the third possibility? That brother age and sister age is same, right? So that is another possibility here, right? Brother age equal to sister age, right? And yeah, put a colon, and then in that particular case, you print they are twins. Okay, so what I'm saying, same other if condition is here, else condition is there. I am adding another elif. I'm saying if brother age and sister age is same, then you print twins. Okay, let's run this again. It's asking for brother age. Yes, I'm saying 10. Sister age also 10. That is printing it twins. So everything else is also working as it is, guys. I have just added another possibility, right? Because what if sister age and brother age is same, right? In that case also it will go for the else statement to cover all these possible cases, and we need to add, because this will be very common when you're coding, when you're making actual code, right? So this will be very common that you cover all the possible cases, right? So if you're not covering, then it will get covered by else statement. But this is something that you should cover. So that is why elif is very important when you're using else, if and else, right? So understand this one more time. I'm creating a couple of variables here, brother age and sister age, and I'm using input function. So this values that I'm providing here, that I can provide it at the runtime. So I don't need to change here, right? And then I'm using if and giving a condition. And then if this condition satisfy, or when this condition return true, right? Like for any comparison that we did earlier, right? Then it will print me brother is elder, because brother age is greater than sister. It's true, then print brother is elder. Else if they are, sorry, elif, if they are on same age, then print twins. Else if anything is else, right? Anything else apart from these two conditions, then you print sister is elder, right? So this is how you can actually try to cover lot of conditions or possibilities using else and if. Okay.